Hey, what's going on, everybody? In this video, we are talking about NBA Top Shot, and the title of this video is correct. There are some moments actually going up in price on NBA Top Shot, which is very different from what we have seen in the past, 4 months, essentially. So, I haven't made a video on Top Shot in a while because they haven't really done anything since the Christmas Day challenges. Yeah, so we're going to talk about a few updates they made and also just some of these moments that are going up in price and why I think they are, just because it's a big change. Also, if you guys aren't signed up for So Rare NBA, definitely sign up with the link down in the description, and in the comments you'll get 20 free cards to play with, and it's been a lot of fun so far this year already. So with Top Shot, I think the first reason why prices in general have gone up is I've been seeing this on Twitter a few places. I haven't spent too much time on Top Shot Twitter, especially recently, but I did see someone say that they were delisting their moments after the start of the new year, and people were basically harvesting their losses for tax reasons, selling moments that they bought for a ton and selling them for a loss, essentially to get on their taxes. And they had a lot listed that they were trying to sell for that reason. So essentially, like if we dig into this moment, people were delisting moments. So it went like this one, for example, if this was before the new year, and then once the new year hit, people would delist, and essentially the price would go from 24 to like 36. So I think that was a small reason. I know at least a handful of people did that, and if a handful of people delisted, 1,000 moments total, that could definitely have an effect on some moments in particular that are in lower mint counts. So I think that's just the first reason. The second reason is obviously they announced that 5% Dapper balance back, which isn't much, but if you made a purchase between now and January 1st, so maybe some people went on some mini buying sprees because of that and could drive the market up a little bit. And then also the other thing, which I don't know where they announced it, but I saw they announced that that deadline for locking up sets hit. So a ton of sets are way up. And I wrote down some set statistics numbers. 60 out of the 81 sets in the last 7 days are actually up in value. And 54 of the 62 sets from series 1 through 3 are up. So a ton of sets are up, especially from sets 1 through 3, or series 1 through 3, and that's because those are actually the sets that get you the pack bonuses. And I believe that snapshot is January 5th for that. So one thing that I thought was really cool to see actually on Top Shot was the prices of some moments going up for huge performances. So when Luka had that crazy game where he had 60, 20, and 11, the price of his moment went up because of that. People saw he was like having an insane game and actually went to go buy his moment up. Like, I don't know if they didn't think before this that Luka was one of the best players in the league and potentially one of the best players of all time in the future, and this game confirmed it, or why they're buying now. But a lot of people bought it up, and honestly it could be because of the leaderboards and player leaderboards buying up for that reason. Could be another reason there. But Luka here, his debuts back up to 695. Average sales has been 471. So if we look at this one on Evaluate XYZ, is what they're called now, you can see before that this one was selling consistently for under $400 all of December. Then when that happened, ton of sales went up, and now the floor, as we just said, is close to $700. And more recently, essentially the same thing happened with Donovan Mitchell, although his price is a lot lower here. $119 lowest ask, and it was a $96 in the last 14 days. And just looking at Mitchell here on Evaluate XYZ, you can see sales that were under $100 leading up to that performance of 71 points, and then a good amount of sales, and actually people were buying this for $150, and then I think few people listed it again, so it's back down to $119, but it was selling up for $150 based on that game essentially. So that's pretty cool to see that people are buying up at least the debuts, and I'm sure some other specific moments, but I didn't really look into every single moment. The debuts seem like a good example, and pretty crazy actually that this Donovan Mitchell debut was selling under $100, and it's only minted out of 1,400. So next, even some sets as a whole are up, and I don't exactly know why they're up, but the video game numbers, you can see the Luka here is up to 200. Maybe it's just because that big game, but I know if you look at the average sale, it's 130. I know that when it was released, it was barely above 100, and then it was under 100 for a long time, and now it's basically more than doubled, and it's at basically 200 now. Anthony Davis, you can see the same thing. Average sale $77. It's up to 107. Durant 85, average sale up to 90, and for some reason Booker's is just 52. I'm not really sure why Booker is so much lower than these. I kind of thought that Booker was more sought after on Top Shot than Anthony Davis, but I guess because the Suns are kind of sucking and Booker's been hurt, his is down to 52, but kind of weird that his is so low compared to all the others. But looking at Luka here, his video game number, evaluate XYZ, you can see what I was talking about. Sales barely above 100, and then it kind of dipped down to 100 and then climbed up, I guess, kind of around the same time as that big game. But then, yeah, it's up to $200 now, so kind of crazy. All right, so that's just some moments that are going up. Obviously, there's still a lot that are going down, but I thought it was cool to see prices go up based on performances from Luka and Mitchell, and then based on these challenges. And one thing I didn't mention about the locking challenge, or it's not really a challenge, but locking the set where you get the packs, those are locking. So those sets went up in value, but I don't think they're really going to go down that much from the increase because people locked them up for a year, so that they can't sell them for a year. So it's not like after they get their packs, they can go and list them again and undercut the value. So I think they're going to hold pretty consistently, and it kind of just increased the value of a ton of sets from Series 1 through 3, which was pretty cool. All right, and I used to make what I'm buying videos. They were definitely my most popular and got the most views on the channel, but I found it hard to be making those because prices just consistently go down. And I like to buy on speculation still. I know that's burned a ton of people, including myself a little bit. But one thing that just seems too cheap to me right now personally, not saying you should go out and buy this, is these explosion, what are they called? Parallels. So I've bought a bunch of these up. I think I've gotten every single one at $3, and actually just looking at this now, these are up pretty high, and we've seen some pretty good movement actually on some of these. But if we sort these low to high, we can see that there's still a lot at the floor for these for $4. But then if we go flip this and go high to low, you can see there's a lot of these that are pretty high price. So Anthony Davis is one, Jaylen Brown, Jokic, Poole. So good players up there. But then you got like Damian Lee up here and Brooke Lopez, which it doesn't seem like they really fit these top guys. But I mean, 500 is pretty low, and they haven't released all of them, not even close to releasing all 500 of them. If we just click into one, Damian Lee, which we're going to look into it for a second, you can see with this, they are 375 proudly owned. People are locking them and even burning some. So, and there's still 106 in packs. So there's not that many distributed out here, 375. And just me thinking if they do some kind of challenge with parallels, which they literally haven't done anything to my knowledge with parallels other than sold them. I feel like the price of the floor for $4 could go up. I mean, if they have some kind of parallel explosion challenge like we saw for the Spotlight series to get kind of a challenge player in the parallel set, I think we could see these prices go pretty far up, and I think just $4 is pretty good. And I've been getting these for $3, and then just in particular, Damian Lee, I saw that one guy just bought a ton of them up. It was right here, Nemi. He bought A bunch of just the explosion parallels that we were looking at. I don't know how many. I want to say that's like 20. So he bought like 20 of them up to push the floor up to $10. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this one. On some of these prices are going up on Top Shot, just something we haven't seen in a while, and just a bunch of reasons why these prices are going up. Not saying they're going to continue to go up, or that this isn't because of things like the snapshot for collecting sets or anything like that, but just thought it was interesting to make a video on this, and it's been a while since we talked about stuff going up on Top Shot. So if you enjoyed this one, subscribe to the channel, check out some other videos, check out So Rare down in the link below, and I'll catch you guys in another video.